Hi, Bill.
Hi, Robs.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, full. Very
Full.
full.
Still full from yesterday, or is it new full?
Well, interesting question, Bill, and one that has multiple answers. No, I'm still full. Like, I went nuts yesterday.
Ooh.
Tactfully nuts, but nuts. And I just rode that wave. I was like, I'm not going to eat tomorrow, being today,
Mm-hmm.
until I'm hungry. And about 2 o'clock rolled around,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I need to be face first into that fridge finding some leftovers.
Yeah, that's about right. We're both on Eastern time. That's about when mine
Yeah.
hit. Where I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's time to pull the old refrigerator door open and just embrace the shame of yesterday. So sure wasn't too much. Single man Thanksgiving. It was pretty easy for me to just microwave Thanksgiving this year. Normally the family is around, but since it's different times, we didn't do that this year. So.
There's something to be said about like completely no responsibility Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not a gift giving holiday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family driven holiday. I don't know about you, but none of my family really uses FaceTime or anything. Good evening.
Sir.
And when they do, it's like, oh, I figured this thing out. And I'm very happy that they do. It's very easy to use. Just, you know.
You get the family thing that's like they finished a school project and they're turning it into you.
Yeah.
Wow,
And then it's like,
get out the portal.
yeah, let me just hand it. I'm going to hand it around to everyone in the room. And,
Thanks.
and as much as I appreciate the thought, it's much better to have no responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in non-pandemic times, when I lived out here and my family lived in the Midwest, it's like, okay, well, if I'm not flying home and I've made that established, it's like I gotta make sure I get the hour-long phone call in, talk to the uncles, the aunts, whatever. But everyone's just like, you know what? This year, just call it off. We're all just gonna hang out and put some blankets on and eat a whole bird ourselves without utensils.
You know what? That's fair enough. Because my family's right here.
Danny
Daniel.
knows, man,
Danny knows.
and
Yeah,
it's tough.
yeah. I mean, in the old days when I was a kid, that phone call would have been right up on your ear, and your ear is all red, and you don't like it. Now you can just sit there with your phone and walk around and just make eyes and go, and it's a video phone, and then you can't get away from any of that. But my family's right here, but we were fine not doing it. So yesterday was a designated, like you said, it was no responsibility day. It was just TV and eat and just do what you want. So there you go. And worked a little bit.
Now, Bill, are you one that participates in BFDs, as I call it, Black Friday deals?
Only maybe once in a while online. I might try, and I won't get up for stuff like that. I used to go once in a while, a long time ago, shopping. I might be out that day, but I'm not the set the alarm for 4 and swing and Conan the Barbarian your way through a cart full of soccer moms to get the Tickle Me Elmo.
I'm glad you said Tickle Me Elmo, because that was I feel like, sorry, I cut you off, Bill, but it's very important to me. I feel like the year of Tickle Me Elmo, and I know there's always been a toy, and please correct my history, but it feels like a Tickle Me Elmo was the first year that Black Friday became like its own holiday, quote. Because I don't, and maybe it's my youth or shopping habits of being a youth, but it was only like around Tickle Me Elmo that I actually started noticing that there was like, oh, people go and shop and there are deals the day after Thanksgiving. I didn't know that was like a thing until mid to late 90s.
Yeah, I don't recall that term when I was a kid growing up in the 80s. don't know where that kicked in. I remember the fads, like Cabbage Patch Kids were fads and PlayStation were fads. I don't really quite know. I think I was probably a teenager before I really noticed anybody calling it Black Friday, because my sister.
And it's because when they go into the black, because people buy so much stuff, they're like out of the red.
It's like the one year that they actually make one day that they make almost all their money for the entire year, which is an insane model, but
yeah,
it's kind of the way it worked. Back when retail was a thing and you actually went to stores, and now you can just do it all online, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, I did one little bit of Black Friday shopping, and then I've got a story to tell you about Black Friday. And then we got to talk some Frasier, okay? So just anyone near ready for Frasier, just calm down.
Tell me of your Rambo-esque wading into the wilds of retail.
Chun chun.
Bob Guilty and his credit card. That's a hell of a combination.
Well, look at this. Hang on. This guy needs a treat. Elvis.
Give that king a treat.
Oh, he dropped it. A king's treat. See, look, I get the king what the king wants. Now we got we Mrs. Colombo and I joined cell phone plans. It's only been 9 years, so we figured it might be the best step.
You sure you're ready?
Yeah, well, we're paying rent. Now that's great because it's just like a family deal. You know, it's one of those things. See, your bill gets cut down a little bit, save $20 a month, whatever it might be. But we went there and they're like, hey, there's new iPhones, and your guys' old phones still get a ridiculous amount of credit towards those phones for whatever reason. I haven't upgraded a phone in 4 years. Jessica, even longer. Mrs. Colombo, even longer. They were like, yeah, do this, and then you get a $300 rebate each. We're like, oh my gosh, okay, cool, thank you. And then they were like, oh, and the Black Friday deal is that since you're both signing up, you can get an iPad for $100. I was like, let me do this quick math real quick. You want to give us $300 in a rebate? Yes, I know I get it in 90 days or whatever, but you're gonna give me $300, and then you tell me I can buy an iPad, the brand new iPad for $100 sold. I mean, this is like, okay, so I didn't pay a thing. I got an iPad and $200. I'm there for it. I just have to do some clever accounting, you know.
They keep you in the family that way.
Yes, they do. It's much like the alcohol I'm drinking.
Yeah, and it shows you the markup they have on that stuff too. If it was hurting them, they wouldn't do it.
Yep. But my quick story, I'll keep this one short because I felt a little braggy just talking about getting a phone and stuff. I don't shop on this day, but I did work at an Einstein Brothers Bagels in college, which is Noah's Bagels to other folks that are around. It's your very like Subway style ordering of bagels. You know, I want the bagel, I want this on it, I want that on it, and a ridiculous amount of impulse items. The assistant manager that got hired there was so into Black Friday that he had like a Black Friday deals t-shirt from like a website he signed up for to get email announcements about the things that might possibly could be on sale. And this is all like the internet was a thing. Obviously, people are using it, but I think it was before it was widely understood that like certain products are made specifically for Black Friday, like huge TVs that don't have all the specialty things of the one that costs $2,000 or whatever that you can give for $150.
Yeah. Thing you would never buy any other day of the year.
And I remember like the idea of camping out seemed fun like a few years prior. Like, hey, we ain't got anything better to do, nothing going on in our lives. Let's crack a couple of beers and stay up all night and see if we can get a PlayStation or something, right? Never happened. I actually went with this guy once and his girlfriend to go camp out. He set up a tent. He had TV, snacks, and I was like, that's the fun part. The fun part was the camp out.
Yeah, the hunt.
Yeah. It was not fun. Everyone out there sucked. It was like I forgot, like, oh yeah, we're also camping out on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it's cold. It's Missouri. It's freezing.
Ooh.
I was poor. I don't even know what I was going to buy. Maybe a DVD. Like, and maybe it was a buy one, get one sale. I was in it for the experience until the experience was that I could not leave. And so it's like 2, 3 in the morning. And he's like, I think we should go to a different store. They're not, I think we missed all the deals at this Best Buy. And it's like, okay. Hey, Rusin.
Hey, Ruth. Good to see you.
And so like, we get in there and they didn't buy anything. I didn't buy anything. And I'm sitting there, he's wearing his Black Friday deal shirts. And I'm just, I lost everything about it was insane.
That is the worst when
I know.
Yeah, when you do something with a friend or a group of friends and it's like you specifically left to do that thing and you have to wade through a river of crap of some kind and then it doesn't happen. You're like, why was I here? Why did you do this to me? Or like going with friends that have a lot of money to a thing and you can't do anything. It's just as bad. I didn't see. That's the thing about that shopping deal. When I was a kid, you never heard the story about the person that didn't get anything. I just figured they went and they bought from the pile because when I was a kid, stores had everything. They didn't sell out of stuff. If there were PlayStations in '84, they would have had 15 pallets stacked 9 rows deep. And now they have
a guy with a shotgun standing in front of them.
Yeah. He'd have thought they were skeet. And then now it's like doorbuster. We've got 3.
Yeah.
900 people. And it's like, nope. I'm not down with that. So,
yeah. Well,
you learned a valuable lesson on that sidewalk. You should have gone home.
I was very happy that I had zero responsibility. Hello, Ms. Bowser. Your prize is on the way. I got caught up in holiday riffraff, but don't worry. It'll be in the mail this week. Just so that's a quick reminder to everyone, if you join in when we take the call-in segment of this show, you might just get yourself a Conan DVD. You never know. You might get some playing cards. You never know. I have a lot of fun stuff I like to give out, and so does Bill. Bill, we should talk about Frasier, though.
We should.
Now, it was my choice this week.
Yep.
And it's crazy because, not crazy, but I have friends back home that still pull me into the group text about how much I love Frasier. And I do. I really like this show. But I watched Frasier before I watched Cheers. And I still don't think I've seen every episode of Cheers. And I mean, people have nostalgia for Cheers, but I think Frasier is a funnier show. But Bill, I wanted to talk about a very specific episode that, as we can see, it is titled The Show Where Diane Comes Back, which I feel like was supposed to be a play on Friends and Cheers in that title. There is a lot of Cheers.
There is a lot of Cheers.
I won't even begin to talk about how my dad also owned a bar. Oh, Cheers.
Cheers, Rob.
My dad owned a bar and definitely had a Ted Danson phase as well. Now,
wow.
Diane comes back in this one. Diane famously left Frasier at the altar in Cheers.
Yes.
And things aren't going so well. Bill, I'd like your input on this, but the big thing here is that she has written a play that looks an awful lot like a TV show we're all familiar with.
It looks like a play that if you went there, you'd know everybody's name as soon as the curtain went up.
Norm! Except.
Yeah, this is actually going to be extra fun now that I know that you haven't seen Cheers first, because this had to. I'll be interested in your take.
I've seen a lot of Cheers, but I have not seen the entire thing.
Yeah, when this episode is completely built up on having seen at least through the Frasier Diane part of Cheers.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. It was on enough in syndication that I saw it 1,000 times, so it's definitely one you can tune in. But yeah, this was this was the big deal. This was one of those. And before this, Sam had been on, so they did a nice round table of getting. I think they got pretty much everybody from Cheers on Frasier once every season before it was all over with.
Yeah, Lilith had at least one or two every season. One cast member at least showed up every season. Towards the end, you got a little bit more. Like there's an episode where Cliff retires and they go to his retirement party. Anyway, this particular episode, Bill, what struck out? What am I trying to say, Bill?
What stuck out of this episode?
There it is.
Diane back. I don't know. It's probably the we get a bit of the old Frasier when Diane comes back, which is kind of the way it was. It was bad terms. So this is the whole Frasier wants his moment in the not revenge, but he wants his. I'm sorry. He wants to show it up to Diane. What a success he's been. That whole "you dumped me, but look how great I am" kind of deal. Instead of just being like, just saying, like Niles says, just tell her that you were hurt and be closed over it, and then be adults and move on. But now that we got 22 minutes to fill, so we're not going to do that. So Diane comes back. We have the big dinner party with the family, but of course, Diane being Diane, she's always got to be the one-upper. So every time Frasier tries to throw something out there about how great it is, she's got one over on him. He's got a nice apartment. She's got a nice beach house. He's got a nice bottle of wine. That's the bottle of wine I keep open all the time because I've got a bunch of them. So it does not go well.
Yeah.
First, which lets the family play off of it, which this was kind of interesting because you get the thing on this one where you realize that Diane has met the family, which Frasier didn't exist when they were together. So the implications at some point she went to Seattle and met Martin and met Niles. And that's always weird for me when established character, they're like, oh, remember when I came when Frasier and I were dating? It's like, no, I bet you don't, because that's just weird. Because she feels like this, she stands out because she's Diane Chambers. So she's not a normal guest star.
Bill, Daniel has a very important thought. It always struck me as odd that Frasier would even hang out at Cheers, which I agree. But the episodes, because I wanted to look back at that, like, why did Frasier even hang out there? And Frasier, he was a different character in Cheers.
He was a different character. Frasier wanted to hang out at Cheers because at that time he wanted to be more like those guys. This was his regular guy hangout. He got to, he didn't even know, he didn't know anything about sports or any of that other stuff. He got to kind of sit at the bar and just puff up his chest and be a dude for half an hour or so. That's why he went there. He didn't go there to.
They were trying to tell this bigger tale of what Frasier, his home life versus his bar life.
Yeah.
To be like, what a crazy dude. He can chum it up with all of us. But then it's like when he goes to Seattle, he's like, I must take my truest form possible, which is a sherry drinking, double-breasted suit wearing.
Yeah, like, music all the time, every time. Yeah, they really sand off all the Cheers edges off of Frasier, which all those edges come back when Diane comes back. When he gets into his flustering, screaming, manic talking way, that's all the stuff that he did on that show, which he did on Frasier, but it was a lot more subdued. But so they crank it up. Of course, it's Diane, so she's going to push his buttons and crank it up to 11. But turns out he gets the upper hand because Diane's success is all a bunch of crap.
Yeah, she's lost her job writing for Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, which dates this show hard. Which is on my list of sold in the room television shows I'd like to watch. Yeah, and so Diane's like last effort is a small little theater club that wants to put on her original work that she's worried about. You know, everything else has gone wrong, so why wouldn't this go wrong? And she respects Frasier's, she at least respects his like know-how and his like culturedness, that she wants him to come see the play, give her notes, make sure it's the best thing possible. But it is Cheers, but from Diane's perspective. That's what the play is, which is not what we saw on TV.
No, it is not. No. And Diane always wanted to be a writer. That was always her thing. She was always trying to get herself elevated out of the barmaid thing and always failing, which is kind of a big thing with her and Sam, because Sam was a regular guy. And so Sam was always something that she settled for. And that's why they didn't stay together. But yeah, she writes the play, and it's her idealized version of Cheers. She's changed all the names. She's left the characters the same, except her character. Everyone loves her. She is the Venus de Milo of the bar. They all honor her. Like the key light hits her when she comes on. And then they even she's added the Frasier character, which I believe she called Franklin.
Yeah. And it's the Zodiac.
Yeah, which kind of turns Frasier's anger up to about 12 while he sits in the audience. And let's not forget, she actually got Frasier to finance this play because her original plan.
That's right.
Out. So he has, in the span of what we think is a few weeks, gotten over his anger enough to give her a bunch of money, be super nice to her, which you can tell he's a nice person, so he wants to be nice. He's also falling in love with her, sort of, again, maybe.
It's the, grass is greener situation. Maybe things could go happen differently now. But when he watches the play and John Carroll Lynch, who plays the Frasier character in the stage version, says that he understood, like the character's like, it's okay, you do what you need to do, I forgive you. And then they're like, cut. I'm just not sure how to understand this. If he's left at the altar, how could anyone be so forgiving? And then Frasier's like, I think I can help you out with that, sir.
Allow me to tell you what Franklin is feeling.
Yeah, this is a season 3, Ruth. This is a season 3, I believe, episode 14 of Frasier.
So this would have been Sweeps, which is why they do.
Yes. This is definitely one of the top episodes of the season.
This would have got
season 3 being one of the best Frasier seasons.
Yeah, this would have got a double spread in TV Guide across 2 pages with the line art that said "Diane's back."
Diane's back.
Yeah, Frasier gets his moment. He's had enough, so he jumps on stage and he finally says all the things that he wanted to say about him being hurt and how he's not happy with it, and he wasn't happy with her, and all the stuff he should have said 7 years ago at that point, and storms off. But this is also after he also sees Diane kiss the lead actor playing Sam, who apparently they are together in some way during this whole thing. So clearly there was no romance going on except on his side of the fence. So this is all very relatable, at least in a lot of sense. I mean, this is a very 90s guy moment. I can relate to certain parts of this personally myself. I get it. The things are like, I need to say this. You just need to get
I've written a play about what I think other people think of me. I understand this.
Yeah. So he blows everybody out of the water and storms off, much to Diane's shocked and dismay.
Yeah. And, without giving too much more away, things wrap up in a nice little sitcom package. There's a couple of funny moments regarding the sets. Some things I didn't quite feel like. I feel like you needed to know more about the Diane character to get all of the little, like, you would love this if you watched all of Cheers. But watching it from my perspective, it's good and it's done well. But I can just totally see this is an episode made for Cheers watchers, not for Frasier watchers. But it's not like it's bad one way or the other.
No, it's fan service. But for you, if you come into it, the whole first half of that show is just I get it. They explain it. This is a woman that took him up the flagpole. And when you get to the play part, you would be like, I don't know, what the hell is this? I don't understand what's happening. But clearly, there's something going on here. So. But I do like a nice wrap up.
Yeah, and I do like I don't know if you know this about me, Bill, but I graduated with a degree in theater and the focus on directing and script analysis and minor in anthropology, cultural. So I am a student of the human. And
why are you talking to me? I can't hang with that. I got a journalism degree. That's not gonna work.
So does Mrs. Columbo. So I do think that watching this from the standpoint of someone who used to love the theater, is really funny at the jokes they point out about theater. Like a lot of people who really love theater, like make it there. And I say this because I've experienced it and I've been there. And I, at one point, was one of these people. You feel like you're like speaking to people on this whole other level. And it's like this antiquated form of entertainment, which really speaks to the true self of those watching and those involved. And it's this meticulous format of being, everything you want to tell yourself about how what you create is different and more exciting than what other people are trying to create. When really it's just like, I put a lot of effort into this and I'd like someone to take a look and respect it for what it is. But when you get the scenes of like the solo Norm with the spotlight on it, it's like, I drink beer and that's who I am. And then it like goes on to Franklin and he's like, I'm searching for meaning in this world. And it's like, that is total theater. That is like, well, we need something that represents the moment, but takes you out of the stage. And it's like the most theater 101, like everyone's going to talk directly to the audience. And it's going to be this revealing moment.
And I wonder if that was on purpose, because one of the things that you would know if you watch Cheers is that Diane had all these aspirations, but she didn't necessarily have the skills to do what she wanted to do, like in all her writing. So, of course, they tell us she's on a TV show, but, the whole thing about her wanting to be a theater, like she'd done things and people would be like, they're not very good, and there's that crushing thing of like, but I want to be in this circle. I want to be elevated. I want to be hoity-toity. And the only way I can get there is by being this person. And then there's a bunch of people telling her she can't because she's not very good at it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird in a lot of ways. So
yeah.
But it plays perfectly for her because, she's got to figure out, what she can get by with. I was just impressed the fact that she said she'd lost all these things. And all she had was this play, which has no money, but somehow she managed to get to Seattle, stay there for a month, have nice clothes, feed herself. It's like, where's her money coming from?
Yeah.
From Frasier.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go back and start Cheers from the beginning because if I remember correctly, there's some odd choices, that all the characters make. But Diane like leaves school or something and like becomes the waitress. I will get there. Cheers is another episode of Sold in the Room.
Yeah, you're gonna need to do some serious watching because Cheers is actually almost 3 different shows if you make it to the end, which I did. I was there for the sign off. I still have it on VHS around here somewhere.
You were there when what's his name? Damn it. There's a new barfly that shows up, the shorter guy with the glasses.
Howie?
No, maybe.
I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
They let the backgrounders talk a little bit towards the end.
Just it's like any season finale when they're like, let's just start taking risks. The director can do whatever they want. I remember watching Drew Carey, and one of the final season shots, they like went behind the bar of the Warsaw and like while everyone was watching the game and cheering it on, I was like, this is like a long dolly shot that like does not belong in a sitcom.
Yeah, because you only get used to looking at them in one direction. So if they spin it around, you'll lose your mind.
Yeah. Bill, we need to do a commercial. We need to do this versus that. And then we need to take callers of our own on this show. So where would you like to begin?
Oh, I think we should go to commercial. Let's throw it to commercial, Robs.
Yeah, but our commercials are fun. Some people are like, "Oh no, I got to get out of here," but that's not what you should do.
Commercials are fun.
Yeah, because commercials come with information, and some of that info is meant to deceive you, but not on Sold in the Room with Bill and Robs. Because all I gotta say is, P. Coleman, you won the DVDs as well. They are in the mail. Those have been sent. And thank you for becoming a Patreon member. That's one more Patreon member. We try and get one patron a week. That's all we ask for, Bill. Because, and Bill, you say it much better than I, because if I talk about the stuff that I make, then it feels like just pat myself on the back, which I love to do, and you know that I love doing.
It should be good.
Yeah. But the big news I would like to say is that although we're attempting to reach 50 patrons, we're at 26 now. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. I would like to say that we signed paperwork to get the TV show and Pumpkin Spice Podcast to join the Heavy Metal Magazine podcast network that hasn't been announced yet.
Hey-o.
But I got a handful of listeners in here. Would like to celebrate the idea of 2 podcasts that I started from the ground up with my best friend Brittany High have been asked to join a network. There's another podcast on the network too. I talked with a guy named Peter with that got on there. So lots of big things happening. Jeremy, of course, our awesome editor. He's thrilled. We're going to throw a holiday party with just me, Jeremy, and Brittany. And Bill, you're going to be invited too, because you might as well. You're going to be part of this team.
I can be the Cliff Clavin of this group.
Yeah, you could be the Sam. How about that?
Sure. If only.
Yeah. We still need to know, and when someone calls in, they can be a part of this. We need to know who's the Frasier, who's the Niles in our Sold in the Room. Angie's in. Hey, Angie. Jeremy is thrilled.
She's made it. Yeah, man, this is awesome news. I'm happy for you guys. You guys do a great job, and it's time to get somebody out there. So the only thing holding Rob's and Brittany and Jeremy back is just getting some good exposure and getting some more people out there. So, if anybody out there is not a patron, I am one. I say this every week. I put my money where my bearded mouth is. So these guys make great shows. I enjoy them. I listen to them every week. So even if you don't become one, then spread the word, share the stuff. That's, if you can't, maybe somebody else can. We really like to hit 50 for the end of the year, but we'll take whatever we can get, because these people need to get paid for their hard work, and they give so much away for free. So, we all know the deal now, because this is the world we live in. It's your cup of coffee, it's your couple of a donut, but it means a lot to them. So that's what keeps Pink Jeans production. So, and we want that to keep rolling. So, especially spread the word. That's free. That's easy to do.
And one thing I would like to say, and then we'll get into this versus that afterwards, is that like a couple people have asked to, and I'm just going to keep their anonymity right now, but have asked to help us with like some social media and stuff, and like knowing that people want to like jump on because they like the podcasts and be a help that way, it's like that shows too. And I'm not saying people need to ask and help us out, but like we're growing, and I think like what's fun about something that's growing is like being there in a Twitch stream like this with you and me, Bill, like looking back in a year and saying like, oh my God, remember when they were talking about having 26 patrons?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and to that, what I was actually trying to get to is the fact that like, so far, Brittany and I have not spent any of the Patreon money on, like, we have not pocketed a thing. It all goes back into paying Jeremy to help edit, a reasonable amount for a reasonable amount of time. We always want to renegotiate and grow anyone who works with us. So it's not like, it's not a race to the bottom, but like advertising, hosting our websites, buying equipment, mics don't last forever, and sometimes dogs chew on your mics. But so these are things that like, it's still a very, 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 very long ways away before any of us are pocketing anything that would be like, cool, I can retire and go off to work. No, it's all about just making it easier for us to make fun content.
Right.
So
make no mistake, everybody.
Kind
of things, especially ones from other ones. We all have jobs. We all have first jobs. So Rob has a job, Brittany has jobs. These are the things that they do out of love, and the kind of money that you get when you've got when you're just starting out. I know that all just goes to keeping the thing going. That's just so you don't have to shell it out of your pocket. Nobody that does this on this kind of level is driving Ferraris and making mad money. That's just not.
Well, they do drive my Ferrari, but
Well, yeah, it's Grand Theft Auto, Rob, so it doesn't count.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you from experience, like, I am one of those people that got in, and so now I have a job. Then I work for two guys who I listen to their podcast, and all of that was based out of fun. I had fun, I contributed, and it actually got me on the payroll. And it was something I wanted to do, so anytime you can contribute to your favorite stuff, please do it. Like I said, especially even the free stuff. And hey, I see a comment down there from Miss Angie that said she caught us on a night where she didn't have a vocal lesson. Maybe she could do maybe she can do the revamp of tossed salads and scrambled eggs. The Rob and Brittany version for Pink Jeans.
Bill, I would like to showcase. Last week, I showcased a new thing that I put out, and there is something that we have not launched yet, or we have not vocally made it, but this is the last thing we'll say for the commercial because I want to share it with everyone. And Bill, I want to share it with you too. And I told Jeremy today that we can't share publicly. So I just want to know that, like, I'm not making any posts about this, but I'm going to share with those who are on the Twitch stream because I would like the hosts of this to be able to people who really share it once it goes live everywhere. And you'll understand what I'm talking about in a second.
Okay.
Because some people came to Brittany and I and were like, hey, Pink Jeans is more than just podcasts, right? You guys can help people make podcasts. So if you go to pinkjeansproductions.com, we have the shows we make, but we also have consultations and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We had our first official client to create a podcast to be put on our network. And I would like to share the trailer to that show with you right now, Bill.
Yes.
Would that be okay?
Do your
Is
stuff.
that okay, audience? Yes. I'm going to share my screen. Hang on. Which one do I want to share? I want to share a Chrome tab. I want it to be this one. I'm going to share audio. Okay, Bill, I'm going to change up the screen real quick.
Did it?
Oh, not that way.
No.
Not that way. See, just bear with me, folks, okay? I'm getting rid of the thing. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, Bill. I told you not to worry, okay?
I'm not. I'm being happy.
I know. Okay, so this is the Pink Jeans website, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go up to podcasts. So you got your Pumpkin Skies, you got your TV show, you got your Vanderpump Robs. The Dune Conversations.
Oh.
This is with John DeVore, who has guested on shows with Brittany and I. He's a writer. Jordan Hoffman, New York City film critic, has been on, I don't know, Blank Check like 3 times. Other podcasts like this. Let's hear this trailer, Bill.
Do it.
A beginning is a very delicate time.
A sleeper must awake.
Hi, John.
Jordan, guess what I want to talk about?
You want to talk about Dune?
I think about David Lynch's 1984 sci-fi masterpiece, Dune, every day. And you're literally the only person who will talk to me about it whenever I want.
I know.
You're such a good friend. I can just pick up the phone and I know you'll answer and talk to me about monster worms or space cocaine or pain nuns.
Yeah, it's true.
For you are the Quiz-On Hatterack.
Well, they changed our name at Ellis. But hey, the first season of the Dune Conversations with John and Jordan is for anyone who has ever been a fan of anything. It's literally 2 old friends just talking about stuff they love.
That's right. I've known Jordan for nearly 25 years. He's a member of the New York Film Critics Circle.
And John is an award-winning essayist. And holy cats, does he love Dune.
If you're obsessed with Dune like me, or just enjoy unnecessarily intense conversations about movies, TV, and pop culture, subscribe now. At the end of every episode, we read the Litany of Fear.
It's my favorite part of the day, let me tell you.
I'm so glad you're my friend, Jordan. I love Dune so much. Subscribe to the Dune Conversations on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to get your podcasts. The sleeper must awaken.
And Bill, if you would like to hear the rest of those tunes, it does fade out in a really nice song. All that music composed by Jeremy Siegel. And I edited together that trailer. Jeremy's editing the episodes. It's going to be a blast. And I saw on here, subscribing to that, just make sure you're also subscribed to Pumpkin Spice Podcast, Vanderpump Robs, and the TV show. Bill, it's time for your favorite segment. And it might even be mine. It's called This First.
Well, my favorite segment is just saying hello to your smiling face every week, Rob. So we'll just do this one too. But I think anybody can relate to that show because that's kind of, this or all the everything else we talk about. Let me tell you something, folks. If Rob and I lived in the same building, it'd be a Jerry Kramer thing because we'd just be knocking on each other's door all the time going, I thought of a thing for this Boopa Derby. I need to talk to you about it.
It's already our text messages.
Well, one of the things we've texted about back and forth a little bit lately is Rob and I both have a love for comic books. So this week, this one's kind of been bumping around in my head for a long time now. And this one comes with kind of some specifics. So I got to thinking, what if you had a contest between a couple of very powerful, very armored up guys, two very specific people who are super powerful, but they're the kind of guys that it's not a good versus evil thing. This is an evil versus evil thing. And that's the best kind. That's like two managers vying for the same office. This is going to be bad. This is bad from the top to the bottom. So when I think bad, I think of one in particular because this came up. I think we're all familiar.
Lord Vader.
With Lord Vader, this is an easy get. We all pretty much, I doubt anybody here doesn't know the specifics and the abilities of prime time Lord Vader, worried about his kid, touchy-feely, don't really care about that. This is your end of Rogue One, subjugating the universe Darth Vader. He's a pretty bad dude.
Yeah.
Got a certain particular set of skills.
Uh-oh.
But Rob, you like comic books, so I was thinking, what if he had to go up against a very specific version of this character, the comic book version? So this is the armored, super smart, incredibly egotistical, and mystically powered Dr. Doom.
Whoa.
And I say comic book because I think you and I both know there has not been a good movie version of Dr. Doom.
Oh, I'm aware.
So I'm going with the good one. And the reason this came up was because I actually found this action figure and I had to stand him I had them on my shelf together, and I thought, that'd be a bad day at the office. So I want your take as a comic book fan and as a science fiction fan. Remember, don't be too quick because this is the mystically powered Dr. Doom. Vader has the Force. Dr. Doom actually has magic as well as technological skills to call upon in this fight.
Well, Bill, this is a thinker. It's a thinker.
Put all your nerd powers to work on this, Rob. I need answers because it's on my brain.
If we're looking at this and let's just tear down the walls of universes, right? We're tearing down the walls. There's no restrictions here. Powers versus powers, strength, ability.
Ego versus ego.
Ooh. Well, Vader can succumb to emotion. Not sure Doom can. I know he has, but here's the big thing. Let me ask you this, Bill. What can take down Superman? Very limited amount of things. Kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
And magic powers.
Mm-hmm.
So, if magic can take down Kal-El, magic can take down Vader. And I just think that the Force is such a it can do everything and it can do nothing, and it can block some lasers and not others, and
okay, I think we set a bad precedent last with the one contest. I didn't say that they weren't trying to, but it's
Sure.
also that's not always the end goal of the contest.
Yes.
Thanks for pointing that. It would be a clang of helmets.
Yeah. Let's see them helmets come off. You know what I mean? Anyway, this is live. Bill, I do have to think that Doom wins. Doom wins.
He's going with Doom, everybody. All right. Hey, we have Daniels chiming in. Let's put his up there. Oh, he's on Doom's side too.
Ooh.
Yeah, see? That's
the strategy. The strategy is the big thing there too.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the thing where I was coming from, is that the two things. Doom's all Doom. Doom's never gonna ever crack.
Doom's gonna Doom.
Ever give you the benefit of anything. He has no sympathy, and I don't think Prime Vader would have a lot for Dr. Doom, but my thinking is, they say the Force surrounds us and binds us. It's what holds the universe together, but if Doom, at the time, has the magical ability to basically, let's say, pollute the Force during this battle,
what would happen to all them little midichlorians?
And they're all going to go. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be just like, taking the morning after pill. After that, they're all going to shrivel up and die. So that's not good. Well, yeah, he's got the Force choke, but I think I'm going to have to give it to Doom as well. I think because really the only thing after that is Vader's got lightsaber skills, but I have a hard time believing that Doom's not going to have his Force blast or something to keep that at bay long enough to not get cut in half.
I'm also not convinced that Doom's armor couldn't block a lightsaber. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't. He's at least going to have some force fields that are going to at least buy him enough time.
Yeah.
He's always got some kind of super evil, just destroys everything kind of thing tucked in his back pocket. And Vader doesn't. Let's face it. Vader has
one of those too, but it just destroys everything internally.
Yeah, I called it really. I called it. So there was that. But yeah, I mean, same thing. So I think Vader's got in that particular instinct. I think his killer instinct's not going to be killer enough. I think it's a three-way sweep between me and you and Danny and whoever. If anybody can point us in a different direction, I believe there's a link in there that you can click to let your voice be heard if you so desire.
Yeah. Please join in. We have time for a couple of calls today before we close up the happy hour. And, Bill, I need to top this off. So please let people know what they're in store for if they call in. I'm just going to be on the other side of this door.
Basically, if you call in, you get a moment where Rob and I want to give you things. It's not really that we want to give you an opportunity to lose. We just want to get rid of stuff. Rob's got a bag of stuff on his desk, and it's kind of a neat thing. So it's all just for a little bit of fun. You guys take the time out of your day to tune in and see what we're ridiculously talking about. So
yeah,
we love to add little segments to this. So we're really getting into our game show roots with each other. This went from chatting around the bar to turning the bar into let's make a deal. So, but hey, whatever adds a little fun to it. We're down.
Well, if we did a whole show that was, if we did our talk show, that's great. If we did a complete call-in show, I'd love that too. It's a matter of getting folks to call in. We're not broadcasting directly into people's vehicles during rush hour.
No, we're not actually like Frasier's booth. We don't have a Roz to take all these things. So what we were really shooting for was just if we were all sitting at the bar having a beer that we could just be like, what did you say? Oh, there's no way that's going to work out, and just nerd yourself out and have a little fun. So just Rob's got his salesman stash under the desk. He's willing to pan some stuff out. So
yeah, who wants it's a first season of Search Party bound like a little book?
It just makes me think of like a little golden book.
Yeah, it's looking to get rid of it. It's a great show. Yeah.
Well, and hey, maybe it's a gift for somebody because maybe this could be your Black Friday gift. I mean, you don't want to have to sit on the street to get this stuff like Rob's had to, which he literally did.
Yeah, this was on a stoop, and it's a for your consideration DVD, so someone famous had it.
Yeah, I wonder if they even do that now. I wonder if the industry just emails you a link.
No, they don't. They still send you
discs.
They still waste a whole bunch of stuff. You know what? He's right. All the celebrity voices in Frasier is what really sold it. One of my favorite celebrity voices, John Lithgow, calls in. And have you heard this, Bill? You know, if we're not getting any calls, I think I should share.
Been a while. I don't recall. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen Frasier in any form.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Elvis was trying to call in. That's
He's already won the jackpot.
It's just not going to happen.
Uh-oh. You know we're almost there. Okay, Bill, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to share the screen. Do-do-do. Okay, now I have to do that one thing. Okay.
I don't understand it, Doc. I'm a successful guy. I have my own car dealership, but still, I'm depressed. You've probably heard of me, Madman Martinez.
Well, what seems to be the source of your depression, Madman?
I guess it's just that business is down. I don't know why. I slashed prices this week. Right now, I got an 88 Olds Cutlass on the lot in rare turquoise metallic, Cordoba roof, leather, factory air.
Madman.
Yeah, and that's nothing compared to the 6 brand new Supers I got in. They're priced to sell with a 20% discount to all your listeners. People say to me, Madman, you're crazy. But I say, hey, I deal in volume.
Fortunately, so do I. Well, that's about all the time we have today, folks. Stay tuned for Bob Bulldog Briscoe after these paid commercial messages.
Mm-hmm.
I deal in volume!
Like the old Batman show when they'd open the window and stick their heads out, and it's Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, they'd be coming out at an angle, and they'd be at a different angle.
Yeah, I wonder if that's still a thing. Like, I think of these shows, it's like back in these days, I think the only way to say it is like this industry was probably smaller when it was still TV and movies and actors and stuff. And there were always people popping up. I don't suppose I watch enough to even know if this is still a thing where somebody can call their buddy and go, hey, you want to do a 10-minute voiceover on my show this week? I hope so. I'd like to think they still do this.
Wow, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what I'm going to do in 20 years when I'm out there, when I get the call from you and you're like, hey, man, you want to revive that Car Daddy bit for 5 minutes on my show? I'm like, sure.
Hey, I finished up episode 2 of Vanderpump Robs.
Oh,
season 2, episode 2 in the can. Got
take,
another friend of DeSoto helping out with that one.
Even though I know when these episodes are coming out every Monday, I still go into iTunes and click the button, even though I know it's not there. I click it and go, damn it.
It's not there. Not yet.
That's how bad I want to get back into this. So now's the time. You've got the time. Go back. If you haven't listened, binge everything Rob done on Vanderpump Robs, and then try desperately to explain to the rest of your family why you can't go to any of their Zoom conferences because you're watching Vanderpump Rules because you got sucked in just like I did.
Yep. Also, I will say this. There's a lot of Max Fun fans in here. Episode 1 of season 2 of Vanderpump Robs does have James from Minority Corner as my guest. And it is a wild episode. It's so fun.
It's too good. It's a great show. So I'm glad. I'm really glad you guys are getting picked up. The heavy metal is a big deal. So
yeah, Heavy Metal Magazine is fucking.
And hey, if you want to, like if anybody wants to go out and tweet at Heavy Metal to tell them what a great job they've done when you see this, when this announcement is made, like I will be doing, you know.
Yeah, anyone in here that wants to tweet at Heavy Metal, go for it.
Yeah.
Just know that Heavy Metal has not made an official network post yet.
Yeah. So wait, you know, maybe when you see it pop up, we'll let you know when it's up too while we're out here. So
that's the truth.
Keep you all in the loop because you're all our friends.
Bill, I think I need to get some mashed potatoes in my belly before I go record an episode of Magical at the Movies.
Yeah, I mean that's some pod fuel right there. That'll be great. So no problem.
We are watching Return of the King. So Return of the King, but won't be out for quite some time.
Oh, I just listened to the Sweetest Thing episode the other day in the trivia bit, so those were great. You guys reminded me that I had seen a large part of that movie and just didn't remember that I'd seen it. So
yeah, I'm really enjoying talking with Rob Federick and Peter Madrigal on that show because we really just all approach media and movies in a different way. I got distracted because what's taters? Oh,
Archie,
mashed potatoes are back on the menu.
Mashed potatoes are still warm, Moira.
Some folks call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade and put mustard on my biscuits. Bill, I think that means I've had just about enough, and it is time to call it an evening. Thank you, Bill, once again for doing this with me.
Thank you for having us do it, Rob. So it's always fun.
And thank you for everyone tuning in. Next time, join in the link because that's fun. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.